Hello, everyone, and welcome to Introduction to Korean History. My name is Bryce Rogers, and I will be your instructor for this course. I'm very happy to be here and that we can have this experience together. If you want to learn more about Korean language and culture, you need to know some history. And that's what this course is about. It's a general course. It's not just for history majors. It's not even especially for history majors. All are welcome. Some things to think about. For example, we call the countries of the peninsula, we call the northern nation, we call North Korea, um, or the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. But why do they refer to themselves as Chosan, not North Korea? And the country we call South Korea, or the Republic of Korea, refers to itself as Daehanminguk, completely unrelated terms to the internationally accepted titles of the countries. Why is that? Well, that's one of the things that we'll be looking at in this course, along a lot of other issues related to ancient, recent, and contemporary Korean history. So once again, this class is for all kinds of majors. Don't panic if you're not a history major. We'll get through this. Don't worry. You should find everything you need for this course in the Canvas shell once it's all set up this week. There will be short weekly lectures that I will be providing for the course. They are for your enrichment. You'll not be tested on them. If you don't have time to watch them, that's fine. But some of us may be confronted with readings that we say, I need to understand this. And that's what these short lectures are about. Let's take a look at the syllabus just for a moment, which you should already have by email. You can see the basics there, the required text, Jungkyuk Kim, The History of Korea, and Mark Peterson and Philip Margiles, A Brief History of Korea. Those are the texts I will be using as primary references. If they're difficult for you to get a hold of, if you have a different access to a different Korean history, not Wikipedia, not different people's blogs, but an actual history book of Korea, that will be fine. As long as you're going through the same periods of time that we are week by week, you shouldn't have any problem because the issues and topics we'll be discussing should be in every Korean textbook, history textbook that has been made, general histories. Also, the recommended texts are listed there. These are fantastic resources. The Sources of Korean Tradition, Volume 1 and Volume 2. If you really want to know about Korean history, you have to go to the primary sources. And fortunately, these two books provide translations of ancient Chinese language and Korean language sources, primary sources written by actual ancient Koreans, which we normally don't have access to. So this would be a great thing to refer to if you can. So that is there for your reference, as well as Victor Cha, The Impossible State, North Korea Past and Future. If you want to dig a little bit more into North Korea specifically, we're going to have a week or so on North Korea during this course. The grading hopefully is clear. You have a midterm paper that's 25% of your grade. You have a final exam that's 30%. You have a primary source review that is 25%. And you have quizzes, weekly quizzes that will add up to a total of 20% of your score. So you got to pay attention getting ready for those things. So that's what your score is based on in the class. Just a couple of points on those assignments and requirements for the course. keep up with the reading. That's really important. Whether you're reading the textbooks I've recommended or another textbook that gives you the same time period, you need to keep up with that because we're covering more than 5,000 years of history in this course. If you miss a couple of weeks of reading, it's going to be very difficult to catch up. So at least skim each week and maybe jot down on a piece of paper major events, major dates. I'll be providing a timeline week by week also as we progress through the history of Korea, just giving you some dates and times. This is not a course in which you need to plan to memorize lots of dates. Although, if you know that the traditional founding of Korea is in 2333 BC, or that the Korean Peninsula was liberated in 1945 from the Japanese, things like that would be helpful to know, but they're not required. In addition to reading, try to stay up to date on that always. Beginning week 2, the quizzes will be available in Canvas. I'll try to get them open by the beginning of each week, and they'll stay open all week. They're quizzes over the subject of that period from the readings, whatever readings you're doing for the course. And they should be very straightforward. If you're following the events and times, you shouldn't have much trouble with those quizzes, but you need to stay up on the reading, underline. Do your best on that. The midterm paper is due week 8, but if that is a problem for you, it can be extended a little bit, but I would like to get that done around the middle of the course so you don't have big papers to deal with toward the end of the course when you have your final exams for everything else going on at the same time. Also, and the details of those papers will be provided, so don't panic if you've never done a history paper. I'll help you get through that. I'll have a short video also on the proper formatting and preparation of those papers in the course. The primary source review, in that you will be looking at one of the primary sources of Korean history. I'll provide a set of those and make sure all of you are assigned. You know, we'll get your opinion on these things, but that everyone is assigned to a particular reading, and you'll be doing a very short review of a couple of pages, just the who, what, when, whys, and stuff of this particular source. For example, the story of Dangun, who is the traditional founder of Korea, is found in what's called the Samguk Yuksa, the history of the Three Kingdoms. So there's a brief excerpt from that. And so in that case, you'd be talking about who is this about? It's about Dangun. When do we think this was written? What time period is it about? What is the subject? And maybe what are the implications for Korean history of this particular source? So we'll be, I'll be making sure that lots of you have those. My first intention is to make those available to one another, but that may not work out. So the main point is to get you engaged with primary sources in Korean history, at least a little bit in this course. The chat feature, I will hopefully have that enabled in the Canvas shell. So if you have questions or issues that come up, you can contact me through the chat feature, also through email. And from time to time, I may put out a question like, how's everything going? Or what do you all think about this particular subject? If you're able to reply to that and make a few comments, that would be helpful to me to know how things are going, kind of temperature checks along the way. Since this is an online course, I don't get to see you face to face. So it'd help me to know how you're doing, how are things going during the course. So I hope this will be a fun learning experience for all of us, for you and for me. I look forward to getting to know you virtually during this course. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know, and we'll try to adjust accordingly accordingly as we go through the course. I hope you all have a great semester, and I look forward to seeing you in Korea. 안녕히 가세요.